Good morning. I am Charlotte, HR manager calling from department at UC Berkeley. I'm talking to Miss Maricar.
Yes, Mr. Lot, good morning.
Okay, great. I understand that you've taken a series of short training workshops and I'm doing qualitative evaluations about training so we can learn more about how participants think about their training and what they've learned. So I'd like to ask you about your experience with the short trainings. I'd like to do a brief phone interview that will last between 5 to 10 minutes. Would this be a good time to schedule a phone interview? Is that okay?
Yes, Mr. Lot.
Okay, thank you, Maricar. And what do you do for a living? What's your profession?
I'm a nurse.
You're a nurse. How long have you been nursing?
I've been a nurse for 12 years.
Interesting. So first, I'd like to start out and just kind of get your immediate reaction to the training, your memories of how it feels to be in the training. What's your favorite part of the training and your least favorite part of the training?
Well, I would say that my favorite part of training was the facilitators. Really took time to have discussions with us. And it was a very open kind of discussion that we had about a number of the topics that we were discussing, and I felt like I wasn't just being told things, it wasn't a one-way sort of experience. We were very much learning from one another. And it was exciting to be in group with my peers and to be able to discuss something we confront every day and learn different ways of approaching them.
I know the training was a while ago, but I'm wondering if in these conversations that you were having with the facilitators and was some of your colleagues, can you remember anything particular that was especially interesting for you?
Was taking sexual histories, and as a nurse who are working in HIV care and testing, it's often important for us to take a sexual history, but it can be very uncomfortable. For example, depending on the patients we have, patients who come in who seem too young for us to need to take a sexual history. Patients who frankly seem too old for that to still be relevant. And it was interesting to talk about how we all sort of approach in a different way. And how a number of us frankly were fairly uncomfortable with the topic, but having this kind of discussion about it really helped me to feel more empowered to talk to all of my clients about their sexual histories.
I heard you say that you're now taking these sexual histories differently. And I'm wondering if because you're taking them differently, if different kinds of information actually come out from your consultation with the patient.
I think certainly because the truth is that I was so uncomfortable doing them before that I often sort of skipped over it or found ways to just ask yes or no questions and get through it. And so now that I'm more comfortable taking the history, I'm actually doing it with all of my patients.
Can you think of any ways that might affect the actual care the patients receive?
Definitely because before I wasn't thinking about a number of these patients in terms of needing the kinds of services like HIV testing, and now I realize that the older generation is sexual active and seeking their sexual history, and some of them do need to be tested.
Can you tell me anything else that you remember learning from the training?
Well, one of the things that we discussed a lot at the training was patient confidentiality. And I feel like I was aware that confidentiality was important. I was not aware of the many ways that we can accidentally violate patient confidentiality. And it's caused me not only to look at the practice personally, but to also be thinking about the way things sort of happen in our clinic, because there are a number of things happening in our clinic that I actually think are making it harder for us to maintain patient confidentiality.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for answering all these questions. It's been really helpful. Before we end, I was just wondering if there was any other feedback you'd like to provide about the training, how we could improve it, or things you'd like to see us do differently.
Just that really appreciated it, and it was really useful training, and I hope that you'll keep me in mind for future training.
Great. Thank you so much, Miss Margar. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.